Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Football Wizards. In this video, we are going to review the performance of our team in Game Week 21 and reveal one confirmed transfer that we have already made. Let's start by reviewing the shambolic Game Week 21. Oh, it was a pretty hard game week to sit through, guys, and especially when your team doesn't get any points at all, it makes it even tougher. Gaeta had a decent game on paper against Norwich, and we were expecting a clean sheet, but it started really badly for Crystal Palace as Norwich scored really early. Todd Cantwell scored the goal and Gaeta lost his clean sheet, but he did get one save point in the end. Bad thing about owning Gaeta is he hasn't kept any clean sheet in the last 5 games, and if you look at these games on paper, you expect Gaeta to keep at least 2 or 3 clean sheets. Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham, Southampton and Norwich, and Gaeta has just conceded 1 goal in each of these games. He should have just gone and conceded 2 or 3 in one game and then kept 2 clean sheets. That would have been much better, but what can you do? I mean, if you look at the upcoming fixtures, the upcoming 2 fixtures are really tough and you can't expect clean sheets in these games, but after that he has some really decent fixtures. So we're going to trust him and keep him. Alexander-Arnold had a difficult match against Sheffield on paper, but I haven't seen any team play so easily against Sheffield United as Liverpool. They are already looking like champions. Alexander-Arnold got a decent 6 points, but the other fullback, Robertson, he outshone Trent Alexander-Arnold in this game. But it was still a decent 6 points in such a bad game week. Diego Rico, what can you say about him? He was subbed off at halftime after conceding 3 goals, and on top of that, Rico got a yellow card as well, so he ended up on -1. If you look at his fixtures, Bournemouth have some really decent games on paper, I guess, against Watford, Norwich, Brighton, Aston Villa, and 3 out of these 4 games are at home. But Bournemouth are so unpredictable at the moment, and you don't even know whether they're going to keep a clean sheet or not. You will end up maybe putting Diego Rico in the team for a couple of these fixtures, but Bournemouth is really in a bad form right now. Ben Chilwell got 6 points with a clean sheet. I expected a little more, especially after Newcastle got a red card, but owning Ben Chilwell has been frustrating because we got him over Soyuncu. We paid the extra money, but Ben Chilwell has been underwhelming ever since we brought him in because he hasn't got any assists or he hasn't scored any goals. But Soyuncu is better value and he ends up getting a couple of bonus points as well. But if we don't have any other fires to put out, then we might transfer out Ben Chilwell for Kaglar Soyuncu because the fixtures of Leicester are pretty decent. So this is one transfer that we could make if we don't have any other problems in the team. John Lundstrom, he had a difficult game against Liverpool, so we didn't start him, but he came in for Jamie Vardy. We didn't expect too much from him. He just got a solitary point and he didn't influence the game too much at all. And since we didn't expect any points, we had put him on the bench, but he did come in for Jamie Vardy. That was a frustrating one, to be honest. Kevin De Bruyne, our vice captain, who later became our captain because Jamie Vardy was injured, and he didn't get any points at all. They had a decent game against Everton on paper, but it turned out to be a difficult fixture. Manchester City were looking comfortable in the game at 2-0 until Claudio Bravo decided to go crazy with his pass and they conceded the goal, and thankfully they conceded the goal to our Everton player Richarlison, and then Kevin De Bruyne stayed on the pitch for the whole 90 minutes, but he was playing so deep and he wasn't able to influence the game too much. So we got 4 points from Kevin De Bruyne, but we expected much more from him. Looking at his upcoming fixtures, I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to get good returns in these fixtures, so no problems there. Sadio Mane again got a goal, and the good thing for Mane owners who don't own Salah was that when Mane took the shot, it would have been an assist for Salah, but he decided to hit the shot straight at the keeper and then score off the rebound, so that Salah didn't get any assist points. It was frustrating for Salah owners, to be honest, but he still got 8 points, so no complaints there. Richarlison, as I said, he scored the goal against Manchester City. He's got a goal in one game, and he got an assist in the last game, so he's ticking along nicely. Actually, we expected him to score in the Burnley fixture, and he didn't, but in the Newcastle and the Manchester City away games, he's got us some decent points, so we're happy with him. And looking at his upcoming fixtures, Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Watford, Crystal Palace, so I think it's a good time to have Richarlison. Traore completed a record 15 dribbles in this game, but that's all he did. He did not get any FPL points. FPL wise, he was not too good, so he played the whole 90 minutes, and it was a really tough game, to be honest with you. Watford was up by 2-0 until Kabasili got sent off, but Watford's form has really turned, and we should be looking at some of their players as well. If they can beat Wolves, then they need to be taken seriously now in FPL as well, guys. But Traore had a frustrating game against Watford, playing all 90 minutes, completing 15 dribbles, did not get any BPS. He was on 16 BPS, but he did not get any bonus at all, so it was a frustrating game. But upcoming fixtures, Newcastle, Southampton look decent for Traore, so no problems there. Danny Ings, he has been such a great signing for our team. We signed him 2 game weeks back, and in each of these game weeks, he has ended up scoring a goal and getting all 3 bonus points against 2 really tough opponents as well. I mean, on paper, it was not a good time to be signing Danny Ings, against Crystal Palace, a team which is really defensive, and Tottenham. But we did sign him, and he has repaid the faith handsomely with 2 9-pointers. That's the reason we are going to keep Danny Ings, even though he has a game against Leicester and Wolves, and these are really tough games. But we are thinking about keeping Danny Ings since he's in really good form, and as I always say, we should choose form over fixtures. If a player is in form, it doesn't really matter who he is playing, because he can always score a goal, especially a forward. Marcus Rashford had a really quiet game against Arsenal, so he had a couple of pot shots, and he had a really good chance to score at the end, to be honest, with Juan Mata through ball, but Bernd Leno came out and he parried the ball, so Marcus Rashford ended at 2 points against Arsenal. But looking at his upcoming fixture, especially against Norwich, it's not a good time to be selling him, although he's excuse me, he's been underwhelming in these past few game weeks against Everton, Watford. We expected him to score in these games actually, but he has 3 blanks in the last 5 game weeks, but he has also given us some returns against Newcastle and Burnley, and the next game against Norwich. So I think it's a good time to stay patient with Marcus Rashford, and not just in game week 22. In game week 24, he plays against Burnley and against Wolves in game week 25. So yeah, I think it could be a waiting game with Marcus Rashford. There is no hurry to transfer him out or anything like that, but if he doesn't perform against Norwich, then we might rethink our strategy. Now looking at our bench, of course we have Jamie Vardy sitting there nice and snug with the captain's armband and with 0 points because he didn't play in the game week, and he wasn't even in the Leicester squad. In game week 20, he didn't play because he had a daughter, and we all thought that he was going to play in game week 21. But in his press conference, Brendan Rodgers did not hint about any injuries to Jamie Vardy. And many of us had our armband on him because we expected him to score against Newcastle. But he didn't play, and many of us who had the vice captain on Kevin De Bruyne had a bad game week. All of those FPL managers who actually had their armband on Mane or Salah, they had a decent game week. Isaac Hayden got 2 points. He was second on our bench. Lundstrom was first, so there's a difference of 1 point. That's not too much. Tomori was actually in our starting lineup, but 10 minutes before the deadline, we got early team news, which was leaked on Twitter by FPL Subscribe. I had actually posted the team news on my YouTube community page and also on Twitter. So we took out Tomori and we brought in Traore in place of Tomori. Traore was actually on our bench and Tomori was in the team, but we brought in Traore and put Tomori on the bench, and Lundstrom came in for Jamie Vardy. So not much to see on the bench except for Mr. Nice and Snug Jamie Vardy. It wasn't a good game week for us, guys. As you can see, we got 47 points, and the average was 48. We got 47, and the overall rank, it suffered a little bit because last week we were close to 400k, and now it's down to 500k. Also, you know, there's not too much difference of points. It's just a couple of points that can bring you up or down the table in the position where I'm at, but it still feels always bad to have a red arrow as compared to a green arrow. So hopefully in the upcoming game weeks we can have some good green arrows, everyone. Please let us know how was your game week and how did your team perform in game week 21. Was it a green arrow for you, or just like us, a red arrow? Alright, so that was about the game week. Now let's have a look at our team for game week 22. It's not a confirmed team or anything like that, but since we've already made a transfer, I would just like to let you guys know which player I've brought in. And as you can see, we have Mason Holgate in our team, and we have transferred out Tomori, who was burning a hole in our team. It was sitting there since the last 2, 3, 4 game weeks. We always wanted to get him out, but we always had some other fires to put out, and Tomori ended up staying in our team for much more longer than he was welcome. But now we've eventually managed to get him out, and we brought in Mason Holgate, just 4.4 and an ownership of 0.8, so that's pretty much a differential for us. He's been starting since game week 10. You can see he's played so many minutes, and although he doesn't get too many attacking returns, but he still has 2 assists to his name against Southampton and Brighton. So I mean, we are not getting him in our team for attacking returns, to be honest. But if looking at Everton's fixtures against Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Watford, Crystal Palace, especially after the arrival of Carlo Ancelotti, we are hoping that Everton can get 2 or 3 clean sheets. So whenever we need a player to come in, we brought Mason Holgate for that. Many managers are going for CDB, but the problem with bringing CDB in our team is he's 5.3, and we didn't want to waste too much money, and we didn't want to invest too much in our defense, because we have a Liverpool double game week coming in soon, and we need money for those transfers as well. So we transferred out Tomori and we brought in Mason Holgate. So that's the confirmed transfer for our team, and the team's looking pretty solid actually. If you have a look at if you have a look at our 15, the entire team, it's looking pretty good. The keeper is of course Gaeta. Then we have Rico. As we discussed, he has some decent fixtures. Chilwell, Alexander-Arnold, Lundstrom, and now we have Holgate. In midfield, Richarlison, who has some decent fixtures, Sadio Mane, of course, Kevin De Bruyne. We've got Hayden as the enabler, and we've got Traore, who we are going to rotate, of course. He's not nailed on starter, but he's a good player to have. He has a potential for getting good scores as well. And we've got Jamie Vardy, who we are assessing. We wanna wait for Brendan Rodgers' press conference to see what he says about Jamie Vardy, if he's still going to be out for game week 22 or if he's back. Leicester has a game of FA Cup as well, and Brendan Rodgers is going to be asked about Jamie Vardy, so let's see what he says. Marcus Rashford, decent fixture against Norwich, no problems there. And Danny Ings, difficult fixtures but a player in form, so we can keep him. As well, we have one transfer left, guys, since we didn't make any free transfers in game week 21, so we have one free transfer left and we have 1.2 million in the bank. But we are not going to make any transfers at the moment. We are just waiting for any team news or any injuries in FA Cup, and then we are going to decide what to do with this team. So for now, there's no transfer plan or anything like that. We had to make one transfer. We had to get out Tomori, so we did, and we are going to keep our one transfer, and we might even roll the transfer for the next game week, because we might need to make a couple of transfers in the next game week. But if some injury problems come up, or let's say Jamie Vardy's out or somebody else gets injured playing in the FA Cup, then we might use our transfer. But you guys also need to stay careful about the FA Cup. Keep an eye out for any potential injuries or any absentees or the manager's press conferences. Of course, I'll keep you updated. If you haven't already, guys, do like and subscribe, and also do follow us on Twitter at @TheFootyViz. I have the Twitter handle on the screen, so please do follow us, because I mostly interact there. I keep posting throughout the week if I have any news or if I make any transfers, so do follow us there. I hope you have a good day, guys. This was just a review video, and I wanted to tell you my confirmed transfer. I'll probably get another video out with the transfer plan for the upcoming double Liverpool game week, and also we might include some West Ham players, especially after the new manager bounce, but that's for another video. I hope you have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.